I always locked the basement. Even before the killings began. Before the blood, before the dreams. It was instinct, I suppose. A learned reflex. Like flinching when someone raises a hand, even if they're only reaching for a glass. The house was my uncle's. Left to me after he vanished, just up and disappeared one autumn night, his car still in the driveway, dinner half-eaten on the plate. I never knew the man. Mom said he was unstable. But she said that about a lot of people. I moved in 6 months ago. A quiet place. Big windows. Quiet street. Quiet neighbors. Not the kind that wave when you walk by. I liked that. There was something off about the house, though. The air was heavy. Thick, like it had lungs of its own. And the walls, they breathed. Not literally, of course. But they creaked inside in the night like something slumbering behind them. And then there was the smell. Metal. Wet stone. Rot. It came from beneath. From the basement. I never went down there. Didn't need to. I kept the door locked. Tied it shut with a belt. Taped over the edges. Placed a dresser in front of it. And still, sometimes, I'd wake up and find it open. Only an inch. Just a crack. Just enough to see the blackness yawning inside, waiting. They found the first girl 2 towns over, in a ditch behind an abandoned gas station. No ID. No clothes. No eyes. She'd been opened like a fruit, they said. Peeled. Like something human had done it, but not quite. They blamed a drifter. Then a cult. Then a bear. But bears don't take teeth. I watched the news with a sick feeling in my gut. Not fear, not revulsion. Something else. Recognition. Like watching yourself in a dream. Her face haunted me. Even with the damage. There was something familiar. Like maybe I'd seen her before. On a bus. In a grocery store. Or in the mirror. I started sleepwalking again that week. Woke up with dirt under my nails. Mud on my shoes. Once, I woke up at the kitchen table. A carving knife laid out beside me. A raw steak half-eaten in front of me. Only, I don't eat meat. Not since I was 12. There were scratches on my arms I didn't remember getting. And bruises on my thighs like I'd been held down. My therapist said it was stress. Residual trauma. That the mind protects itself by fragmenting. But he didn't see the way my face looked in the mirror. Not quite mine. I found the journal in the attic. Buried beneath old books and broken furniture. Wrapped in plastic and sealed with duct tape, like someone wanted to be sure it never breathed again. It was leather-bound. Black. No title. Just a single symbol etched into the front, an eye, split down the middle by a red line. Inside, it was written in looping cursive. Neat. Elegant. The first page read, "The blood sings. The meat remembers." The rest? Names. Dates. Descriptions. Kill sites. Methods. Organ removal. Storage locations. I read page after page with growing nausea, unable to stop. Diagrams of human anatomy. Charts of lunar cycles. Lists of tools, bone saw, pruning shears, drain cleaner. There were photos. Old Polaroids taped into the margins. Blurry, red-stained images. Bits of faces. Torn mouths. A ring on a swollen finger. In one, the victim's hand was held up in front of the lens. The hand had my tattoo. He talks to me at night now. Not in the way that thoughts talk. But real. Audible. Like a man in the room. Only I'm alone. His voice is low, wet, like breathing through blood. "You forgot again," he said last night. "But that's okay. I remembered for us." He says his name is Red. Not a name, really. More like a color soaked into my bones. Red knows things I don't. About the house. About the girls. About the basement. Sometimes I black out when he speaks. Hours gone. Days. I wake up with his voice fading in my ears like the last note of a funeral bell. I've started seeing things, too. Glimpses of movement just outside my field of vision. Faces in windows. The color red everywhere, a smear on a doorknob, the soap turning pink in the shower, rust bubbling from the faucet. And the worst part? It feels right. Like I'm remembering something I'd buried. Like I'm coming home. I bit down on something hard during breakfast. Toast. That's all I made. Burnt, dry, unsalted. I was chewing, trying to push the taste of iron from my tongue. That tang that's been lingering in the back of my throat for days, when I felt it, the crack of something foreign. A sliver of white. I spat it into my hand. It was a molar. Human. The root was still attached, bloodied and soft, like it had been pulled with bare fingers. I stared at it while my stomach dropped and my teeth itched like they knew it. I touched my mouth, counted. None of mine were missing. So whose was it? I didn't eat the rest of the day. Just drank water. And even that tasted wrong. Like something had soaked in the pipes for too long. Like copper and old breath. That night, the dreams came back, red and vivid. I was walking through the woods, barefoot, the ground pulsing beneath me like flesh. My hands were sticky. There was a sound, low and wheezing, like someone trying to scream through a collapsed lung. I was following it. Eventually, I came to a clearing. And there she was. The girl from the news. The first one. Her body hanging upside down from a tree, mouth stretched open, jaw dislocated. There were teeth scattered in a circle around her, like offerings. I stepped forward. My hands moved on their own, rising to her face. And then I woke up. With bark under my fingernails. There's a motel across town, one of those pay-by-the-hour places with mildew on the curtains and stains that have stories. I don't remember going there, but I found the key in my coat pocket, room 207. I drove there at midnight. The clerk didn't look up. Just slid the ledger forward like he'd been expecting me. I signed. My hand shook. The name I wrote wasn't mine. Red. The room was dark. One lamp. No sheets. No smell, at first. But then I opened the closet. Inside was a tarp. Folded neatly. A hunting knife. Rubber gloves. Zip ties. And beneath them, a duffel bag. Inside the bag were a Polaroid camera, sticky with dried fluid. A woman's earring. A pair of blood-soaked panties. A stack of notes, handwritten in my own looping cursive. Each note was addressed to me. You're not ready to remember, but I am. They looked at you like you were weak. Soft. The girls laughed. I showed them what's inside the soft ones. You're my skin, my day face. I'm the night. We are beautiful when we bleed. You'll thank me when it's all done. I vomited in the sink. Sat on the floor for an hour, shivering, teeth chattering. It's not true. It can't be true. I'm not. I'm not capable of this. But then why did it all feel so familiar? Why did I remember the way the knife felt? The weight of the bag? Why did I see myself in the bathroom mirror and think, you're not the one looking out? The wall behind my bed in the house, where the paint had always peeled, was hollow. I never thought to check before. But last night, after the motel, something urged me. I pulled the bed away. Peeled the wallpaper. Beneath it was plywood. Scratched with dozens of names. All in the same jagged hand. Sandra. Lena. Fiona. Ruby. Delia. 23 in total. My hands acted before I could stop them. Found the screwdriver. Dug into the seams. Pried it open. Inside was a crawl space. Tight. Damp. The smell hit me like rot and perfume. It was filled with bags. Neatly labeled. Dated. Inside them, clothing. Jewelry. Hair. Teeth. Tongues. In jars. Preserved. There was a mannequin inside too. Female. Naked. Wrapped in a silk robe. A red wig on its head. Lipstick smeared across the chin. Pinned to its chest was a sticky note, "When she's perfect, we'll stop." I didn't sleep. I just sat in the bathtub with the curtain drawn and the lights off, waiting to see if I'd come back. But I never left. It's worse now. It's like I'm sharing my body with someone I can't see. Someone who wants to stretch the skin wider, wear it looser, so he can crawl out through my mouth and start using my teeth. Every time I blink, I lose time. 3 seconds. 4. Once, it was 8 hours. And when I woke up, I was in the basement. Yes. The basement. I don't remember unlocking the door. Or moving the dresser. Or untying the belt. But I must have, because I woke up kneeling in the dark, blood-soaked and half-naked, surrounded by parts. Not body parts, at first glance. But then I saw it, a spine, stripped of flesh, curled like a question mark. A pile of teeth sorted by molar, incisor, canine. A scalp, still warm, stretched and nailed to the wall with garden tacks. A heart, pulsing. Still. It throbbed like it had nowhere to go, like it missed the cage of ribs it belonged to. And worst of all, she was still alive. Strapped to the table. Mouth gagged with cloth. Eyes rolled back like broken marbles. She saw me. And in her eyes, I saw me. Real me. The part that still begged. The part that screamed, "You're not like this. You're not like this." But my hands didn't listen. They held a hammer. They were wet. And Red whispered, "She laughed when you dropped your books at the cafe. You remember now, don't you? You didn't mean to fall in love. But she never called. She looked through you. She deserves to understand what love feels like, on the inside." I blacked out again. When I came to, I was in the shower. Clothes on. Blood everywhere. It was in my ears. Under my nails. Soaking my socks. In the folds of my elbows. In my mouth. I spat a tooth into the drain. Not mine. Still warm. I started writing things on the walls. Not like messages. More like confessions. But in a voice I didn't know. The handwriting was angular. Rushed. She said she was cold, so I warmed her from the inside. I found the truth behind her eyes, and it was hollow. She didn't deserve her voice, so I removed it. Stop pretending. You liked the way it screamed. I tried to paint over it. But the words wouldn't go. Even when I used oil-based paint, even when I scrubbed so hard the brush handle snapped, the messages bled through. As if the wall itself had become a skin remembering the wounds. And then I stopped recognizing my own face. It's small things at first. The eyebrows are thicker. The lips curl wrong when I smile. There's a scar on my chin I don't remember getting, and it grows when I'm not looking. I watched myself in the mirror yesterday. I blinked. My reflection didn't. There's a door in the house that didn't used to be there. Next to the pantry. Between the fridge and the old radiator. I swear it wasn't there before. But last night, it was open. Just a crack. Just enough to see something pale move inside. I stepped in. It was a room with no windows. No lights. Just meat hooks hanging from the ceiling like metal fangs. There were bodies in the corners. Slumped. Wrapped in plastic. Buzzing with flies that didn't land. Their heads were turned toward me. No matter where I stood. And in the middle of the room, there was a mirror. But not a real mirror. It moved. It showed me Red. He looked like me. Exactly like me. Except his skin was stretched too tight, and there were staples around his mouth to keep the grin in place. He didn't blink. He just watched me. Then he raised his hand and held up a single object, a scalpel. And suddenly I remembered everything. I remembered the alley behind the diner. The woman in the green hoodie. Her hair pulled too tight. Her laugh too sharp. I remembered following her home. I remembered the blackouts not being blackouts at all, but gifts. A second self cleaning up the mess my weak face couldn't handle. I remembered Red holding the knife, yes, but I remembered my fingers guiding it. I screamed. The bodies in the room screamed back. I recorded a video. Not because I thought it would save anyone. But because I needed to say it, before I disappeared completely. Before he finishes me. The video begins like this: my name is, cut, I don't know if this will make sense, but I think I'm two people. Cut, there's someone inside me. Or maybe I'm inside him. His name is Red. He likes to cut. He says we're perfect when we bleed. Static, I didn't mean to hurt them. I just wanted to feel, silence, real. He says the final girl is me. I think he's going to skin me from the inside out. I think I'm already gone. The video ends with me laughing. But not in my voice. It's his. She smelled like coconut shampoo and stale wine. I remember that before anything else. It was the scent that clung to her scalp as I pulled her hair tight, winding it around my knuckles like a leash. Her heels skittered across the kitchen floor, knocking over a bottle of olive oil that smashed into the tile like a bullet through bone. She was crying. So many of them cry. It always starts with please. But she didn't say that. She said, "Why me?" I didn't answer. I was too busy savoring the way her shoulder looked, that meat ridge between collar and neck, the way it twitched when she struggled. She bit me. A good one. Drew blood. I laughed. Her mouth filled with it when I punched her jaw sideways, heard the crunch of enamel splitting like ice under a truck tire. She stopped trying to talk after that. I remember dragging her across the living room rug, leaving streaks of red behind like she was painting her way to the grave. Her breath hitched. Half gasping. Trying to say something. Her eye met mine. She knew. I laid her down on the plastic I had taped in a perfect square. Her body curled, fetal, like all of them do. Like they think they can go back. You ever been loved so hard it left you open? I asked her. I meant it. I always mean it. She didn't answer. So I made the first cut across her stomach. Clean, from hip to hip. She screamed then. Oh, how she screamed. Something primal. Something beautiful. Her hands gripped her own entrails like she was trying to push herself back in. Then, I stopped. Not because I wanted to. Because something inside him screamed, too. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you? A stuttering voice. The day face. Weak. Whimpering. Like a boy holding a bleeding dog. Let me go, please let me go. I didn't. I didn't ask for this, but I only smiled. And I made him watch. Narrator's POV, present, slipping in and out, I can see it now. Like the memory isn't behind me, it's around me. Thick. Wet. Still breathing. I see the woman's mouth frozen in a silent "oh," her tongue bitten nearly in half. I see the way her blood arched from her split gut when he carved up into the diaphragm, whispering love notes through clenched teeth. I taste it. Metallic and hot and clotted with foam. I remember how her ribs cracked open like cabinet doors, and how Red took her heart and kissed it before placing it gently into a silver bowl. And I remember the worst part. It wasn't that I watched it. It was that I felt calm. Whole. Loved. I can't tell who's speaking anymore. I hear myself talk in the mirror and I don't recognize the cadence. I write in a journal and the words twist while I sleep. Yesterday I wrote, I want help. This morning, it said, I want her lungs. I thought I was sick. Now I realize, I was never alone. He was born in the blood. In the hospital. In the dark rooms where I slept on synthetic pillows and they injected me with dreams. He grew like a tumor behind my eyes. They wanted to split me. See what happened when a mind was broken and stitched back wrong. And it worked. It worked too well. Now he's waking up in full. She's still down there. Not the one from the flashback. A new one. I didn't even know she was there until this morning, when I heard the whimpering through the vent. I moved the dresser. Opened the hatch. And there she was, bound. Naked. Half of her face purple with bruising. The other half torn in a neat oval, like someone peeled it off. Her eye is missing, and in its place, stuffed into the socket, is a daisy. I go to scream. But Red says, why are you surprised? You picked her. She looks like your mother, doesn't she? You always wanted to know what made her tick. I drop to my knees. My hands touch her thighs. There are carvings there. Not just slashes, words. Slut. Smile for me. Stay. Home. I vomit again. There are teeth in my puke. I think one is mine. She looks at me. One eye. And she mouths something. Help me. And for the first time, I don't know who she's talking to. Me. Or Red. They say when you hallucinate, it's your brain misfiring, like static on a dead channel. But this wasn't static. This was a broadcast. From inside. It started small, reflections moving out of sync. A twitch I didn't make. A grin that held a beat too long. Then my hands started changing. I'd look down and see someone else's fingers, thicker, cracked knuckles, blood under the nails. A ring I didn't own. And when I blinked, they'd go back. Clean. Pale. Mine. But only for a moment. I tried cutting them off. I boiled water on the stove, sterilized the shears, and clamped down on my left pinky until the bone crunched. The pain didn't wake me. It made me laugh. Because underneath the skin, it wasn't mine. There was red fur, like wet velvet. Claws. A blackened nail curled backward like a question mark. And beneath that, just a twitching vein running circles, like it couldn't decide which way to bleed. I cut again. Red cheered. The walls are full of girls now. They move when I'm not looking. If I stare long enough, their faces bubble to the surface like blisters on a burn. One of them has no lips. One of them has my mother's eyes. One of them opens her mouth wide enough to scream, and a second mouth opens inside it. They whisper. They tell me secrets I don't want. You took us apart because you wanted to know how you worked. You peeled off our faces looking for your own. You don't love them. You love the holes they leave behind. He's not inside you. You're inside him. I screamed at them to stop. So they laughed. All at once. All with my voice. There's a new body in the kitchen. I don't know where she came from. I don't remember taking her. But she's perfect. Lying on the table, posed like a crucifix, eyes sewn shut with dental floss. Her stomach has been opened, and her organs laid out in a circle around her like petals from a rotten flower. Each one labeled. I don't remember writing the labels. But I read them: heart, useless. Liver, filth. Uterus, where it grew. Tongue, too loud. In the middle, there's a mirror propped under her open chest cavity. It reflects my face. Except, it's not my face. It's Red's. He's smiling. But he's not looking at me. He's looking past me. I turn. There's no one there. Until there is. I'm not alone anymore. They've come. The others. I hear them at night. Crawling in the vents. Scratching under the floorboards. Singing hymns in wet, gargled Latin. One of them licks the walls. I can hear the slurping. When I look at the TV screen, I see a hospital room. My hospital room. A man is strapped to the bed, eyes gone, mouth sewn shut, IVs pumping something black. It's me. It's not me. I'm standing in the corner of the room in the footage. Wearing a red coat. Holding a hacksaw. I scream and shut off the TV. But the screaming doesn't stop. It's coming from the mirror now. It's Red. It's me. She escaped. The one in the basement. She got loose. Or maybe I let her. I don't know anymore. My hands keep moving when I sleep. They leave blood under the doorknobs. They write messages on my feet in Sharpie. They point when I'm not paying attention. She ran into the woods. I followed. Not because I wanted to catch her. Because he wanted to see. The forest was wrong. Trees moved aside for me. Birds stopped screaming. The moon bent. Bent like a spoon under a child's hand. She ran until she hit the river. Turned. Cried. Please, she said, I didn't do anything. And for the first time. I agreed. But Red didn't care. He opened my mouth and said, neither did I. And then we lunged. I don't remember walking back to the hospital. I only remember the door. It opened on its own. The building was gutted. No staff. No patients. Just a hollow skeleton reeking of disinfectant and something older, meat rot. The tiles were wrong. Too soft underfoot. Some squelched when I stepped. The holes breathed. Lights flickered but didn't turn off, they blinked like eyes. I followed the arrows scratched into the walls. They led me down. Down past the burn unit, the psych wing, the maternity floor where no babies ever cried. Down to level -3, which wasn't on any blueprint. The walls there weren't concrete. They were made of stitched skin, puckered and veined. Human mouths sewn into the corners. Some whispered. Some laughed. One of them looked like mine. The table was waiting, same table from the flashbacks. Same restraints. Same overhead light swaying slowly like a noose. I laid down. Not because I was forced to. Because it was time. Because he wanted to come out. They called it Project Mirrorhead. They wanted to see what happened when a person's psyche was peeled, split, and fed back to itself. Repetition-induced fragmentation. 10 days of waking to blinding lights, hearing screams through walls, being injected with a cocktail of ketamine, LSD, and something else, something alive. The therapists wore masks. The walls played recordings of your voice from childhood, warped to sound like threats. At night, they hung you upside down in a tank of pink liquid and played the sound of your own heartbeat slowing down. They said, "We're peeling off the personality. We're making room. We want to see what fills the void." And Red did. He crawled out of the drain during the 5th session. He whispered to me during the beatings. He held me while they drowned me in anesthesia. He promised, "You don't have to feel this anymore. Let me wear you." Now it was time. I bit down on my own tongue. I swallowed it. Let the blood coat my throat like wine. I screamed, but it came out in his voice. Lower. Calmer. A rusted saw dragging through velvet. The mouths in the walls joined in. A chorus of moans, shrieks, giggles. The lights spun faster. The table began to shake. Red stood across from me. Naked. Skin painted in symbols. Face cut open vertically, splitting into a flower of gristle. Inside his head were mirrors, hundreds of them, each reflecting one of my past kills. He spoke, "You're not a man anymore. You're not a victim. You are the wound that heals wrong. Say your name." And I said it. Louder than I ever thought I could scream, "I am Red." The mirrors shattered. Blood gushed from the table seams. The restraints melted into my arms, branding me. My skin peeled itself away, revealing fur, claws, teeth, bone scrawled with runes. I wasn't human anymore. I was him. He was me. We were whole. I walked the halls of the hospital as it breathed with me. Each room opened to a scene from my past, my mother choking on her own broken teeth. The girl in the basement, still alive, but skinless now, crawling in place. The doctor who bled out trying to shove his own eyes into a file drawer. They looked at me with recognition. Not fear. Worship. I was no longer a patient. No longer the test subject. I was the god the experiment created. And I was hungry. I've left the hospital. I'm writing this in a diner bathroom, naked under a raincoat. The waitress smiled at me and asked if I was okay. She has your eyes. I wonder what they'll look like in the sink. Transcript of police interview, subject, Ava K. Interviewer, just start from the beginning, Ava. You said you escaped. From where? Ava, the house. His house. I don't know how long I was there. Weeks. Maybe months. It was dark. He fed me from dog bowls. Sometimes not at all. Interviewer. You told the officer on scene he wore another face. Ava, he did. He'd come down as two different people. One soft. One laughing. One would cry after hurting me, the other would carve names into my thighs and ask if I liked poetry. He called himself Red. But the other name? I think it was mine. Interviewer, yours? Ava, I meant, his. Sorry. His name. He made me say it. Over and over. Every night. Interviewer, what name, Ava? Ava, mine. Police report summary, subject, Ava K. Upon examination, the subject presented extensive scarring, consistent with repeated self-mutilation. No evidence found of the house. GPS coordinates led to a vacant lot overgrown with kudzu. Medical exam reveals presence of non-human organic material beneath dermal layers. Testing inconclusive. Psychological profile, fragmented. Dissociative. Subject refuses to refer to herself in the first person. Last recorded phrase during evaluation, he's under my skin. I blink, and I can smell iron. I close my eyes, and I'm holding the knife. Unrelated incident, 3 weeks later, Local news, Maybridge City. The body of 22-year-old nursing student Leah Porter was found inside a diner restroom. The victim had been carefully dismembered and arranged in a spiral. Witnesses claim she spoke to a man in a red coat moments before her disappearance. CCTV footage reveals no such man ever entered the building. I watch her from the alley across the street. She's wearing new clothes. Hair dyed. Limp still healing. She walks like prey, skittish. Always looking over her shoulder. She should. She brought me with her. She doesn't know it yet, but her reflection is wrong. Doesn't blink at the same time. Smiles when she's not looking. Red isn't just in me anymore. He's splitting. Like a sickness. Like a miracle. She'll carve, soon. Maybe not tonight. But soon. We always do.